Hi, I'm Becca. I'm about to go into my last semester as a public history grad student here at SFA, and this is a day of my life as a summer fellow for the William J. Hill Artists and Artists Archive. But first, what is the archive? Created by the Bayou Bend Collection and Gardens and the Museum of Fine Arts Houston, it is a free online archive that documents the lives, work, and products of Texas artists and artisans through 1900. And now they're focusing on East Texas. For my fellowship, I work out of the Stonefort Museum, East Texas Research Center, and the old Nacogdoches University building, all great Nacogdoches sites with amazing historic resources to digitize. Today I was working at the Stonefort Museum here on the SFA campus. But before I photograph artifacts, I have to input metadata. To do so, I start looking at an object's individual file for information on its maker, its time period, provenance, etc. Then I get to input all this data and info into a really fun spreadsheet you can see here. Here I give detailed descriptions of the objects, any historical biographies, and I also note how and with what the object was made with. This gives researchers a better understanding of the object without physically looking at it. Once the metadata is complete, I get to photograph. Today I was photographing these two clay pictures made in Crockett, Texas before the Civil War. They were used in the Masonic home in San Augustine, Texas, and were once owned by George L. Crockett, a well-known East Texas artist, historian, minister, and more. Since I had been photographing yesterday, I already had the light box set up with the backdrop inside and just had to set up lighting in my camera. Here I've set up the first picture into the light box and I'm using a Nikon D7200. Now I just adjust the camera lighting and get the object into focus. Here I'm going back and forth to make sure I rotate the picture clockwise, that way I have every angle so researchers can view the full picture. Then I take any close-ups of it for any details that need closer images. Today I also photographed the other picture and this wooden desk set made from a historic Nacogdoches tree. Once I'm done for the day, I upload the images to my computer and put them into their respective folders. Then I upload them onto Dropbox so that the photo editor can start the editing process. Here's how some of the images turned out without edits. Projects like the Hill Archive are such amazing opportunities for students like me to get hands-on experience with museum and archival collections. Today, the Hill Archive has digitized over 150,000 records and objects and continue to not only be a great research tool, but also an amazing resource for public history sites. The preservation of our history is never guaranteed, but the archive provides a platform that allows a piece of Texas material history be preserved for the future. I'm so glad that I get to contribute to such an amazing project like this, and thank you all for watching.